My name is Philena Bruce. I live in London. The story of how I became a medium is actually rather funny. Because this was many years ago, maybe, 15, 20 years ago. I had the opportunity to go and learn how to do, how to read flowers, like reading people's future from a bunch of flowers. I just love flowers and I thought it'd be a lovely thing to do. And when I turned up at the psychic's place, she gave me some jewellery, one or two pieces of jewellery, well, one at a time, and asked me to close my eyes and to hold the jewellery and to say what I could about the person who had owned that piece of jewellery. My first reaction was to say there was absolutely no way I could do this, that I had tried when I was 22 and I was a complete failure at it. And then, of course, I realised that when I was 22 was rather a long time ago. Anyway, I thought, well, I'll just show her how bad I am. So I held a piece of jewellery and I said everything I felt from it. Then I held one or two other pieces of jewellery that she handed me and told her everything I could pick up off the other two bits. And at the end of it, she said to me I was so good I could do mediumship on a stage. And which, of course, I have no desire then or now to actually do. Then I started to practice it with my clients. I would do a little bit of extra free time in the beginning, and then later on I would add it to my readings, and over the years I've got quite much better at it. It varies a bit from person to person how well it works. And as for why I like doing mediumship, well, I think when I'm talking about mediumship, I'm also talking about sort of straight clairvoyance, because it traditionally sort of mediumship means getting in touch with the dead, but I also get in touch with people's futures. That's mainly why people come to see me. And yes, if relevant, I also do pick up their dead relatives. But what I like about it is it's quite an easy method of reading, because all I need to do is empty my mind. And I'm rather good at emptying my mind. And then I get impressions in pictures or sometimes in sounds, and I just repeat what I'm seeing, hearing or feeling. And of course it also gives a lot of solace one way or another to the client in front of me. As for what I would do with somebody who is very sad and is suffering from a lot of grief, it's like, if they are upset because the person they loved has died, then I hope to be able to get in touch with that person and give them a few messages. Though, funnily enough, I find it very much easier to do if the person has been dead for at least 2 years. I'm never quite certain whether this is to do with some process that the person who dies goes through, or whether it's to do with when somebody's emotions are very raw, it's more difficult to contact the person that they're upset about. If it's more to do with loss through somebody who has left them or treated them very badly so they have left, I look at the cards to see, is there any future in that relationship that they're upset about? Is there any future? Look at their future to see if it's bright in other directions. But when the grief is overwhelming, I then suggest the person comes back to me for healing. I've developed my own method of healing a long time ago. It's grown over the years. And I use a method using sound that I created myself to help people release their stuck emotions, or release their overwhelming grief in this case. And by releasing it, it doesn't mean they're not upset by the end of it about what has happened, but it means it's manageable. They're sad, yes, but they're no longer suffering from overwhelming grief or fear or anger or whatever. So I explain this to them. It's also in my book, Know that you are loved. Self-healing techniques for everyone. So some people prefer to buy the book first and read about what I've done for others before they come back and have a session. But I do find with these sessions that there are occasions when, by the time the person has released all their pain, they physically look different at the end than they did at the beginning. I often say I should do before and after before and after photos. Thank you.